Perfect.
When I bring up his name, you know it's time for that segment called Put Some Respect on My Name.
My name, come up, respect. Yeah.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my name.
And that's what my guy, you know what I'm saying, Amber, I hit him with some news headlines and things that caught my eye. And he lets me know if you got respect or speculation. So something that caught my eye this week, you know what I'm saying? We got rappers that been doing it for a couple years now, you know what I'm saying? Like Lil Yachty, however you feel about him, he's been in the game now and still making music, but also doing other things outside of music. And one of those is podcasting. He does a Safe Place podcast. Lil Yachty and MitchGoneMade, I believe, are the hosts, and Sexyy Red was on there. Are you familiar with Sexyy Red? Or are you familiar with Lil Yachty or Sexyy Red? I'm assuming Lil Yachty, yeah, right?
Lil Yachty, yeah. But I'm not too sure who Sexyy Red is.
I think the famous lyric is
my coochie pink, my booty hole brown.
The pound town
famous lyric.
that's the one people quote the most, you know what I'm saying? But I think she has a song called Pound Town. I think there's a remix out to it now, with a few rappers on it. But that is the song that Sexyy Red I think is well known for.
Okay.
But it brings to my point that Lil Yachty is we consider relatively young in the game, and he's been around for a while. You know what I'm saying? So a rapper like Sexyy Red is just even more of a rookie, way more of a rookie than, you know what I'm saying? But Lil Yachty's also now a rookie in the podcast game, because just because you're good at rapping doesn't necessarily, you know what I mean it translates over to podcasting. And you also don't have to go to school to do this. Anybody with a microphone, a camera, you know what I'm saying, could really do this. So you don't have to necessarily the training or education to do it. And something that happened this week was Yachty asked a question, right? And he actually got, I guess, backlash for it. You got, you know what I mean, flamed for it. When he asked Sexyy Red,
can you tell us like the craziest thing that's ever happened to you?
So I'll pause it right there. I think he asked the question, he worded the question wrong. You know what I'm saying? I think he wanted to know, as an entertainer, one of the craziest things that might have happened with a fan, as a civilian, you know, stuff before you got shit popping, what's one of the craziest things that, you know, you was involved in. But also, it's a podcast. You know, we laugh and we having fun from an entertainment standpoint. Sexyy Red, I also believe, doesn't have the media training to know how to answer that question, right? Because her response was...
Can you tell us like the craziest thing that's ever happened to you?
Crazy shit. And it's gonna stay between us.
I got raped before. That's the craziest thing that ever happened to me.
Maybe something a little under that.
Okay,
maybe something.
Okay,
I mean, I don't know. Like,
maybe something.
Shootout?
There we go. Shootouts, you know.
There we go.
High speed?
Yeah, that's more what we were thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
No.
Wait.
In the shootout.
Wait.
I'm sorry. What's that? We just want to say we are sorry that that
Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, wait, that's definitely...
That is bad.
That is unfortunate.
It's not something we should speak on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the shootouts and stuff, wow. You know, you have done a lot of things.
Yeah, I have.
And now you're a big rapper.
Mm-hmm.
They were like taken aback from it and laugh. And it kind of got into like a little giggling session, but it was because of the awkwardness of like, whoa, that's not what we meant. Like, you just took it to them where like, that's not what we talking about, right? And then shout out to Mitch. He definitely stops and says, time out, you know, we want to apologize. You know, what happened to you was terrible, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't what we were expecting you to say. So your answer threw us off, you know what I'm saying? And then somewhere in this, you know what I mean? Like, I think she caught on like, oh, that was a little wild. And she was like, well, I was in a shootout. And then he's like, yeah, shootout, say shootout. That's the answer we looking for. But you know what I'm saying, type of thing. But I guess, like I said, I think I got respect for both of them. I got no speculation. I don't think Yachty and Mitch meant to be disrespectful by it. And I don't think Sexyy Red was trying to put them in an awkward position. And she is allowed to feel hurt. I don't think she was hurt by their reaction. I think she caught on. You know, you can read the room. Like, oh, that's not what they talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. Like, they not laughing because that happened to me. They laughing because my answer was so far from what they was expecting that's what's causing the awkward laughter in the room. And then, like I said, shout out to Mitch. He did step up and apologize and say, we not saying, that's, you know what I mean? That's not what we were talking about. But a lot of the people, you know what I'm saying, really felt bad for Sexyy Red in that moment. They felt that a Black woman's trauma wasn't being respected. That's always being dismissed. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is another example of that. How come? And I think a more professional podcaster would have taken that moment and maybe like not necessarily shied away from it, but like would have maybe, you know, found a way to go deeper into that, but also bring it back to where they wanted it to be, less awkwardly. You know what I'm saying? And I don't necessarily think that's where they at as journalists. But I'll let you respect or speculation. You think Lil Yachty should get backlash for? Excuse me, Lil Yachty should get backlash for his reaction in that moment to Sexyy Red's comment?
Given all the information, I could understand like quickly chuckling, like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not being a professional podcast or not having experience on my belt to understand how to handle a response like that. So I can understand that from the Lil Yachty side. Wow. It's well, also like it's not even a laughing matter. So it's because you decided to put yourself on this platform, you got to be able to conduct yourself or handle that type of information.
Exactly.
And you're right. Like for them to chuckle like that, they weren't ready for that level of podcasting.
And that's not and that's not what they signed up for. But you can't control.
You can't control what somebody's going to say to
exactly.
Your question, but I feel like he needs an opportunity to explain himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like how I want to bring it back to old news, how Jamie got backlash. And it's like, he had a chance to explain himself, so he just took down his post. Like, if these people a chance to explain themselves, if you feel a certain way, make it into a conversation. Because, you know, just the Black community as a whole, we're not necessarily given certain tools to handle that information. So when you come across it, it's kind of like, oh, whoa. Especially if it's not your life, it's like, whoa. But yeah, man, he needs to get some more experience on his belt. I'm sure it's probably a great podcast. I don't know. I don't listen to it. But I don't think he should get backlash.
Yeah, I'll admit I haven't listened to it as well. But if it is a comedy podcast, that is going to derail what the point of the podcast is. But to their defense, I don't believe it was alive, so they could have edited it out. So they were willing to show it, like that we fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Which, because she might have felt disrespected if that was cut out, you know what I'm saying? So like they could have hid from it, they could have ran from it, they could have, you know what I'm saying? But I don't believe that they did, you know what I'm saying? They did. But people also like, well, you cool with her talking about shootouts, but she can't talk about sexual assault. How does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like either way, it's a heinous act, you know what I'm saying? So why does one make you more comfortable than the other? You know what I'm saying? And I get that, you know what I'm saying? I do get that. And other people are like, this is why everybody don't need a podcast or a platform other than to just hear themselves speak, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that, you know what I'm saying? You should be allowed to make your mistakes. Huh?
Mitch, a Black dude?
Yeah, Mitch is Black. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make clarify. I'm saying like our community is not equipped to deal with that type of information in that sense.
No, I won't even say our community. I think no matter where you're from or where you come from, some people have better training than others for that type of information. You know what I'm saying? And I think Oprah could have dealt with that. I think, you know what I'm saying? I mentioned Charlemagne earlier, but I think he has a sensitivity that could keep the conversation going and not be derailed. That's all. But he's been in radio for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Oprah's a broadcast genius. This is a musician. You know what I'm saying? Like doing the podcast thing. He should be allowed to make his mistakes, though. I'll give him that. And I don't think anybody should be crucified for anything. You know what I'm saying? It's everyone is so quick to just pile on, but there is a teaching moment on both sides. I think that can be done here. And I don't think Sexyy Red did anything wrong. I just think for the sake of knowing you're going on a bunch of different podcasts, know the tone of what they're asking you, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But she's allowed to answer whatever way she wants, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think the question was worded the way it was left to interpretation.
And maybe it was a release for her, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.